Hey guys, welcome to Spooky Witches UK. Today I'm going to be telling you the story of the Abominable Snowman. So, everybody knows about the Abominable Snowman. If you don't, you've kind of been living under a rock for the past God knows how many years. There are many theories as to what it actually is, who it actually is. Sorry about that. So, let's see what I managed to find out, shall we? There's my concealer. I'm going to go for a bit of lip balm, considering it's the middle of winter. And lipsticks tend to dry out my lips a lot. So, the Yeti, or the Abominable Snowman, is a mythical monster who is said to roam the Himalayan mountains. About the level of the snow height. Hang on. There we go. The reports of actual sightings of the creature are extremely rare. But people are convinced that they found things that belong to the Yeti. Bits of hair, things like that. Oh, shoot. It's fine. I'll get it in a minute. So, usually the mysterious markings have been found in the snow. The mysterious markings that have been found in the snow are actually of what have added to people being convinced they've found the Abominable Snowman. And those that are not lumps of snow or snow and stones falling from higher regions and bouncing on the lower regions are probably those made by birds. However, birds have a tendency to place the back paw in the print that the front paw had made, and therefore making like these big unhuman-like prints that point in other directions. In Himalayan folklore, the Yeti is a monstrous creature. It would be later named the Abominable Snowman by the Western popular cultures, but the name Yeti is commonly used. What is going on here? Right, there it is. It's commonly used by the people that are from the area or are part of the folk beliefs. So let's go back to the beginning. In the 19th century, a man named H. Siger said that the Yeti was part of the pre-Buddhist beliefs of several Himalayan people. Whoops. Apparently they worshipped a glacier being as the god of the hunt. He also reported that people of the Bon religion once believed that the blood of the wild man had been used in certain mystical ceremonies. They worship this being. They worshipped. Yeah, this being they worship. What they worship was depicted as an ape-like creature. Sorry, I have not slept. Depicted as an ape-like creature, who carried a large stone as a weapon and made a swooshing, whistling noise. This video is going to be all over the place, and I really, really apologise. So, in the 19th century, so now in the 19th century, in 1832, to be precise, James Princeps, Journal of the Asiatic Society of Bengal, published by a fellow named H. Hodgkinson. Well, this book was H. Hodgkinson's experience in North Nepal. It says that his local guides spotted a tall bipedal creature with long hair that seemed to flee in fear of them, and he concluded that this was an orangutan. Which is quite possible. Now, late reports of footprints started, like, they only started appearing in 1899. So, like, nobody had seen footprints or had recorded to have seen footprints before this. It's a good job that's only translucent powder. So, late reports of these footprints only appeared in 1899 in a book by a guy named Lawrence Waddell. His book was called Among the Himalayas, and he also reported about his guides describing an ape-like being that had left footprints, which Lawrence thought was made by a bear. He had heard of stories of this tall bipedal creature, but he wrote that none of any of the countless Tibetans he questioned about this could give him an authentic case, and the more superficial of investigations, it always turned into that somebody he had heard of it. So now during the 20th century, oh, what colour should I do today, guys? I'm feeling kind of frosty, so I'm going to do blue. So, in the 20th century, the reports of the Yeti had started to increase, with people making attempts to scale the mountain to find it, which, if you're not experienced in doing so, it's dangerous. They reported finding odd tracks and strange creatures. However, in 1925, a gentleman named N.A. Tombazi, who was a photographer and a member of the Royal Geographical Society, says that he saw a creature at about 15,000 feet near the Zimu Glacier. He later wrote that he observed the creature from about 200 to 300 yards for around a minute or so. I mean, would have stayed there longer. Like, I wouldn't. He said unquestionably the creature was human-like and was walking in an upright position and stopped occasionally to pick at some dwarf rhododendron bushes. He said it showed up dark against the snow, and as far as he could make out, it didn't have any clothes. Obviously not. So, yeah. I'm kind of wondering whether this Yeti was cold or not. I mean, probably not with all that fur, but Can't help but wonder, can you? Like, I wouldn't want to be wandering around the Himalayas with no clothes on. Anyway, several hours later... Alright, Stiggy. Sorry, dog's doing Great Northern Run. So, several hours later, Tombazi and his companions descended down the mountain and came across prints. I think my son's about to come down the stairs. So yeah, they found some prints that resembled a man. However, they were only about 6 to 7 inches long and around 4 inches wide, and undoubtedly those of a biped. Peter Byrne reported finding a Yeti footprint in 1948. In northern Sikkim, India, near the Jammu Glacier, while on holiday from a Royal Air Force assignment in India. Now, interest in the Western world picked up in the late 1950s. I'm sorry, I can't take myself seriously while I've got this powder on my face. Let's just get rid of that. There we go, better. So, interest in the Western world picked up in the 1950s when a bloke named Eric Shipton was attempting to scale Mount Everest. He took a picture of large prints in the snow at about 21,000 feet above sea level. I'll insert the picture, like right now, it'll be in one of the corners somewhere. These photographs have been subject to a lot of scrutiny and debate on that. Some argue that it proves the existence of a Yeti, whilst others say that it's just prints of a mundane creature like a bear, like melting in the snow. So, in 1953, a guy named Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay reported seeing more footprints while scaling the mountain. However, Hillary would later discount Yeti sightings as unreliable. I'm just going to do my eyeliner. In his first biography, Tenzing said that he believed that the Yeti was a large ape, and that he had never seen it, but his father had seen one twice. But later, though, in his second biography, he said that he is sceptical of the Yeti sightings and is unsure if the creature exists. So I wonder why he went back on his first account. Maybe he didn't think people would believe him. You never know. So, now, because there are a lot of sightings, and I mean a lot of sightings, I'm going to make a quick list. So, in 1954, the Daily Mail said that the expedition teams had collected hair samples, which apparently was Yeti scalp. I nearly drew myself with bloody eyeliner then. Yet when these hairs were under intense testing, scientists concluded that they were hairs most likely from a hoofed animal with coarse hair and not an apoid or burr. Right, I'm just going to quickly do my eyeliner and then I'll be back. I am back. So, a guy whose name that I can't pronounce and I do not want to butcher it, like I'm not even going to lie to you, claimed in his book The Long Walk, which was published in 1956, that he and his companions, their path was blocked for 2 hours by a bipedal creature that seemed to be doing nothing but shuffling in the snow. Like, for the most part, these Yetis seem very peaceful. They don't seem like they want to hurt anybody. So then, in 1959, Yeti stool samples were collected and were tested, and a fecal parasite that was found has not been classified. Like, so nobody knows what it was. In 1959, actor James Stewart apparently smuggled the Pangbok hand in his luggage back here to London. Naughty, naughty. Don't mind me, I'm just doing my mascara, and we've already figured out every time I talk when I'm doing my mascara I end up poking myself in the eye. So, then, in 1960, Sir Edmund Hillary mounted the 1960 to 61 Silver Hut expedition to the Himalayas, which was to collect and analyse physical evidence of the Yeti. Hillary borrowed a supposed Yeti scalp from the Kumjung Monastery. Then himself and Kumjo Chumbai, the village headman, brought the scalp back to London, where a small sample was cut off for testing. Mark Burns made a detailed examination of the sample. Oh, my dog's dreaming. It scared the shit out of me, that. So, and compared it with similar samples from the sea roe, blue bear and black bear. Burns concluded that the sample was probably made from the skin of an animal closely resembling the sampled specimen of sea roe, but not definitely identical with it, possibly a local variety or race of the same species, or a different but closely related species. So there's not really any answers there. Up to the 1960s, belief in the Yeti was relatively common in the Bhutan, and in 1966, a Bhutanese stamp was made to honour the creature. However, in the 21st century, belief in the being has declined. So, in 1970, Don Willans claimed to have encountered the creature when climbing Annapurna. He reported that he once saw it moving on all fours, and in 1983, a Himalayan conservationist, there we go, led an expedition into Nepal Bronze Valley. The expedition found similar prints and very large nests in trees, and reports from local villagers of 2 bears. They also collected skulls that were sent away for testing, and it came back that they indeed belonged to the bears, the Asiatic black bear. Now, in 2004, so we've jumped up quite a bit here. In 2004, Henry Gee mentioned that the Yeti is an example of folk belief that deserves more investigating, saying that the discovery of the Homo, oh my god, Felencensius survived up until so very recently, and the geological terms mean that other mythical creatures, such as the Yeti, are founded on some sort of truth. There is so much more So please go and look into this. It is really, really interesting, and I'm not gonna lie, when I was writing this up, I was sat here for a good 4 or 5 hours just looking at all of this information. But in 2019, an Indian Army mountaineering expedition team claimed to have spotted a mysterious Yeti-like footprint measuring 81 by 38 centimetres near the Makalu base camp. So there is quite a lot of possible explanations. However, one thing a lot of them have in common is they do always come back to bears. Do I think it's a bear? I don't know. Do I think it's a Yeti? Again, I don't know. I couldn't definitively tell you. But what do you guys think? Do you think it's real? Let me know, as always. I hope you've enjoyed this one. I apologise it was all over the place. I have not slept in days properly, and I am just all over the place as a person. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I hope you had fun with today's urban legend. I love you all, and as always, stay spooky, witches. Bye!